Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, January 9th, 10:05 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. Big night of news. We have large volcanoes erupting, big earthquakes occurring. I just put out an update on the 7.6 downgraded from 7.8 east of Honduras. There are tsunami warnings issued. Let's go to the USA Today here. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck the Caribbean Sea between the coast of Honduras and the Cayman Islands Tuesday night. There was no early reports of damage on land. This was nowhere near land, guys. Tsunami Warning Center had no tsunami waves been confirmed, but stressed that people in Puerto Rico and other Caribbean islands, and we're waiting on that. Now, the tsunami warnings were issued, and right now, 10:06, if you go to the earthquake itself here, and you click on it, and you click on this tsunami picture, it brings you to the warning center. You can come up here and click on forecast, and it will tell you when you click on different areas, like here in Cuba, the tsunami should have arrived at 9 p.m. my time. That was an hour ago. Places in the Gulf of Mexico, Baffin Bay, that's not till midnight. So that's how you use this graph. I haven't seen any reports of tsunami waves coming out yet, and I have been looking. That's what I do. I'm a watcher. Now, there have been several aftershocks in the 4 range, 4.5 and a 4.6. 4.3, but no other quakes of note. But we're going to get back to this seismic map because there's something I want to point out as we get on with the update. Deadly rains in South California send rivers of mud into homes, triggering fires and flooding. We predicted that there would be mudslides, and there were. There's 13 dead as we're doing the video. This number might be increasing. The rain is just ending there. At least 13 dead as heavy rains trigger flooding, mud flows, and freeway closures across Southern California. Predicted. At least 13 were killed Tuesday when rainstorms sent mud and debris coursing through Montecito and left rescue crews to scramble through clogged roadways and down trees to search for victims. We do have some footage here. We'll let it run through. Prayers go out to all the victims and all the people being affected right now as we're making this video. We also have potential tsunami threats all around the Caribbean Sea. That earthquake was centered directly in the middle of it. And we have a large eruption into the stratosphere today of Sheveluch on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Look at the amount of debris there. It's insane. One guy watched this stuff come through his house. Now, guys, what you're looking at is the last. Check out the timestamp up top here. We'll let it go all the way through to the 8th. These are all record low temperatures starting on the 1st of January for the last 8 days, all up until yesterday. Check out the record lows being broken all over the east. Some record high temperatures here in the southwest. You should be taking note of that. We're going to be getting to this at the end of the video while we look at the Little Ice Age temperature anomaly maps, which show a very similar pattern. Record lows, thousands of them. How many exactly? The eastern half of the nation has experienced 2 weeks of extreme temperature departures. As of January 8th, yesterday, 6,144 record lows have been set across the nation in the last month. Most of them in the last week. During the past 7 days of January, over 2,205 minimum temperature records were broken. 6 times as many lows as highs, according to the NCDC. And now the image we just saw shows that. That is impossible. if man was warming the environment. We have the data to suggest that that's not the truth, that it is the sun and the total solar irradiance driving climate. Now, it is so bad in North Carolina. We're going to get to that. Quick, let's do a weather forecast. This is what it's going to look like Wednesday morning. There's going to be heavy snow across all of central Montana, northern Wyoming, eastern and western Wyoming. The Four Corners, we have a winter storm forecast for the next 2 days coming through here. By midday Wednesday, that snow moves east, covering North Dakota and some of South Dakota. It's going to be lingering around here in the Four Corners area. Taos and all the ski resorts here are going to be getting much needed powder. This storm intensifies and continues to move east towards Michigan on Wednesday night. And we'll continue the forecast tomorrow at the next update. Now, the bitter colds in the east are killing fish in North Carolina, specifically oceanic fish. This is spotted trout. The Division of Marine Fisheries has closed spotted sea trout season across the east. Not only that, there are alligators being frozen in place. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. I think there is a video down here. Actually, we can probably go look at it. Nope, freezing up. We're freezing up. This has been just sent over here by needs to be translated. This was just sent over, and this is coming from Hokkaido, Japan, or China. If we could translate this, we can read what it says. They're using the same terminology that happened here on the East Coast, bomb cyclone. And they just got 24 inches of snow. They got 2 feet of snow in 24 hours. Bomb low pressure, they're calling it. Troubled snowstorm in northern Japan. Disabling 149 trains. It is dumping there. Atmospheric compression much. Minimum. That's what it says right there. We just lost the translation. Extreme weather hits Iceland. As predicted, the northern climes are going to be decimated. Chaos in the Alps. Red avalanche alerts as several meters of snow cause lockdowns. Look at the depths. Cosmic ray flux much? Zermatt. This is coming out 12 hours ago. 13,000 tourists trapped in Swiss ski resort after extreme weathers. Officials have warned of very large dry avalanches. More than 13,000 visitors have been stranded in the Swiss ski resort of Zermatt for the second day running after heavy snowfall, atmospheric compression, cosmic ray flux, as predicted by the grand solar minimum, ensues. Local officials have issued warnings about potentially large, and in many cases, very large, dry avalanches as a result of the fresh pow and strong winds. I wonder if there's a pattern developing, folks. Could it be that we're entering a grand solar minimum? And that Al Gore was full of shite? I think we're onto something on this channel. Now let's talk about the volcanic activity. A strong explosion at Sheveluch ejects ash up to 11 kilometers. That's 6,000 feet into the stratosphere, cooling the planet. Aviation color code is not orange, it is red. There is very little footage of this volcano. It's in the middle of nowhere. We got these jiffies running. It's just a puff. When this baby goes, the planet and the temperature go with it. That's a heads up. Big day with volcanic activity. There's going to be some names on this list that you have not seen. There's Sheveluch. But we have Turrialba, Kluchaskov, Sheveluch today. Duquiono is re-erupting. Fuego is back and starting back up. Rincon de la Vieja, Turrialba, and Cinnabon all going boom. Grand solar minimum much? Let's talk about the little ice age temperature patterns real quick here. I'm going to put up the map of the globe as the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. There is a lot more cooling up in the northern areas. And any of the warming is localized in the ocean here. Extreme warming in the ocean, south of Greenland. So most of the areas in South America stay moderate. The temperature stays pretty similar, slightly cooler or slightly warmer, with very few regions in far extreme southern South America that get cold. This particular part of Australia, in the southeast here, that's a heads up for all you Aussies who've been asking questions. And notice where in the U.S. you want to be. The Gulf Coast is a terrible place. It warms here, but this is going to be threatened by the New Madrid, toxic waste, and oil spills. So just because it's warm here doesn't mean it's safe, per se. But there are a few areas over here that warm up, including Alaska and the coast. And I showed you that during the Dalton minimum reconstructions yesterday. And that's a boom. Where were we? Oh, we were at the Grand Solar Minimum update. And here we're getting white paged again. I'm sorry, guys. I should have split this up, but I had to do that earlier video. So bear with me here. Two more quick things to talk about. Very bright flash over thousands of kilometers of ground-shaking explosion over Russia. I don't know if you heard about this. This is the nuke. A very bright flash was seen over thousands of kilometers over Russia around 22 local time, January 7th, 2018. 2022 UTC, January 6th. The flash was followed by a ground-shaking explosion. According to witness reports, the explosion was centered west of the Urals, especially over certain areas there. And if you go look at those areas and you come back and check out the seismic map here, I just want to point something out. If we go to 7 days all mag and come over here to Russia, we have, this is in the area where the explosion occurred. A 4.3 magnitude something that resulted in a very bright flash over thousands of kilometers of ground shaking Russia. Now, this is a very interesting report. A meteor burned out, not reaching the lower layers of atmosphere, people say. And you got to watch the videos here. Some scientists said that the bright flash was refracting from low clouds, while others suggested it might have been a dry thunderstorm. Now, while these might seem like the most plausible explanations, the director of Engelhart Astronomical Observatory argued that the origin was atmospheric electricity. And that's a boom! Oh, atmospheric electricity. Adding that it is still something not properly explained by science or the Grand Solar Minimum, but it was explained by the ancients on cave walls, and it has been recently explained in plasma experiments by Anthony Peratt and others at Los Alamos, who are able to generate the very petroglyphs that were unexplained until they realized they were plasma discharge phenomena. And there are a huge number of effects linked to atmospheric electricity, especially a waning magnetosphere and the fact that we are going into a grand solar minimum, many of which are not properly studied because of how rarely they occur. They are going to be occurring less rarely as we move forward, I assure you. And others in the electric universe circles assure you as well. Now, the imminent mini ice age myth is back, and it's still wrong, except that it's right. They just started it too early. It started around the 70s when they knew that we were going into an ice age based on the Milankovitch information coming out and the fact that the pole of the planet points towards and away from the sun every 26,000 years. But these global warming alarmists want to hold on to their burn up planet and their one-way direction and their Michael Mann hockey stick. So they write this pathetic article that states that roughly every 2 years, now the global cooling hypothesis by scientists has been around since the beginning of science, not every 2 years since 2013. So these people writing these articles are children. They should be ashamed of themselves. They do no research And it's just basically nonsense. The whole article. So the most important takeaway is it's bullshit. And I'm sick of them. And that's a boom. I'm sick of the boom. Guys, we're about to put out, what is this? Oh, let's talk about Rattlesnake Ridge. We've been talking to the geologists in that area, and we have a nice graphic that's coming from the Yakima Valley Emergency Management Area. And some geologist friends of mine put some overlays on here. Purple is the crack itself. Blue is the dip of the beds, or the layering that's cut out here by the quarry. This picture came just from yesterday. These two red lines represent the hypothetical planar deformation areas. There could be two planes of deformation associated with the crack, and most of them think that it's going to slide here to the right into the quarry, destroying the quarry operation. And another camp thinks it's going to slide off the hill here, blocking the road and choking the river. So there are two camps, two ways it could go. We're going to witness it going because they made a prediction of it absolutely sliding in the next 4 weeks. But they have pushed that back. So the potential Rattlesnake Ridge landslide date has been pushed back. The old timeline was sometime between January 14th and February 28th. Happy Valentine's Day. The new timeline is between late January and early March. But we have heavy rains hitting that area tonight and tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. One other thing I quickly want to talk about is one of our subscribers, someone that has been regularly speaking to us via email, has given us some information on a way that you can survive and thrive in the coming grand solar minimum. And then the title of this particular article is Grand Solar Minimum, No Power, No Sun, No Problem. And we're going to do a whole video on something called gasification, biofuel, syngas, hydrogas, whatever you call it. It's clean vapor. And if you have a combustion engine, it will run on gas you produce just from burning wood. And there'll be a lot of wood to burn if you live by trees, especially during heavy storms. So that's a heads up. We're going to be talking about if you don't have a lot of money, if you're not handy or mechanical, how to build your own device to make your own fuel. You could burn your own house to fuel your own car. And this is a proven technology, and no one's making money off of it. We're going to share this information for free to all of our subscribers so that they can build their own device and make their own fuel, because we're going to need it. And this is proven technology. A farmer friend of mine uses a wood gasifier. You can use it for a vehicle. You can use it to fuel to heat your house, to cook your food. Basically do whatever you want. And that's a Grand Solar Minimum heads up from the Oppenheimer Ranch channel. Guys, I hope you guys all stay asleep, but maybe. Be safe. Let me catch you.